Hey guys, welcome to week 2 of online learning. Hope you guys had a great weekend and I miss you guys. I love hearing your voices and videos and stuff through Class Dojo. Feel free to message me anything, prayer requests, things that you've done. I would love to hear it all. So we're going to start with the Bible with stewardship. So we have been learning about ways that we can take care of each other, loving each other, taking care of the people in church, like forgiveness, serving each other. But now we're going to talk about what stewardship is. Now, you guys learned 4 aspects of relationship when it comes to creation. First was relationship with God, relationship with ourselves, relationship with others, and then relationship with the earth. So as we are going through, a lot of my PowerPoints directly relate to your workbook page. So if you want to watch this and then while doing the workbook page, watch it again or pause it and answer some of the workbook page lessons. It won't answer everything, but it answers a lot of them. So that might make things easier and quicker for you guys when you're doing it at home. So anyway, so these are our 4 relationships of creation. We're going to specifically talk about relationship with the earth, number 4. So again, what is stewardship? That sounds like a big word, something that we use in the olden times. And stewardship is just a relationship of harmony, okay, so connectiveness with creation as we appreciate it and take care of it. So basically, it's just taking care of the earth that God created, that God gave to us to take care of. So again, think of some ways we can take care of the earth. Planting trees, okay, picking up trash, not littering. That's stewardship, taking care of what God has given us. Okay, so the word guardian, when I think of guardian, I think of Guardian of the Galaxy over here, or there is another superhero type thing within the Superman galaxy called the Guardian. And so we might think of that, okay, people guarding things. But guardian really just says a person who cares for another person or property. So it's very close to stewardship. So with the Guardian of the Galaxies, they're basically saying they're taking care of the galaxy. They're the ones guarding it. They're the ones taking care of it. So with a guardian, think about, okay, people who take care of other people. Obviously, your guardians, usually legal guardians are your parents, but sometimes it can be foster parents, grandparents. Whoever takes care of you is your guardian. Now, other guardians could be babysitters. When they come and take care of you, they're a temporary guardian. They're taking care of you. Teachers, they are responsible for you when you're at school. So those are guardians of people. Then you can have a guardian of property. So what are some jobs that take care of property? Right here we have a custodial person. They take care of whatever they're cleaning. So our custodial at school, we need to be thanking them because they have not a pleasant job sometimes, so they take care of the property of our school. Park rangers, just over here, they take care of the park. They go around, make sure that the animals and the plants they are taken care of. They take care of the whole park, make sure it's clean. And then this last one, okay, is a guardian of the earth, taking care of the earth. And again, how are some ways that we can do that? I put recycling. Over here is throwing away your trash, not throwing it on the ground, not littering. So is there guardian and stewardship seems very close. So is there a difference? The difference between a steward and a guardian is that stewards only take care of property. You can be a good steward of your money, okay? So that's a thing. Okay, taking care, using it wisely. You can be, taking care of property. Guardians can take care of both people and property. So that's the difference between that. Steward is specifically just property, things. Okay, now in science, we have learned a lot about the earth. And of course, and you're probably like, all of those pictures on the screen look a lot like the earth. Why are we talking about the earth when it comes to Bible? But again, who created the earth? God did. And it is phenomenal when you start learning more about science and seeing how God created everything. How much he designed it, how much thought he put into what he created. it is absolutely amazing because he knew exactly what we needed. He knew exactly how things need to be in order for us to be able to live. So in Genesis 1:1, Job 26:7, and Psalm 104:5, it talks about how God suspended space, okay, to create how he created the world. And so how can we live on this world without flying all around like you do in space? How can we how do the planets not collide toward each other? Okay, and it's gravity. God created gravity because he knew that we would need it in order to survive. And then when we read the account in Genesis 1:1, and we also read more in Psalm 74:16 or Genesis 8, when we talk about God giving us light. God knew that the world would need light, that plants would need light. But he also didn't just give us the sun, he gave us the moon and the stars. Okay? The sun to rule the day, the moon and the stars to rule the night, that we would have light. Because light is so important for us to see. Light is important for things to grow as well. And God knew that, and he was specific, okay, about that. Another thing that God was specific was about seasons. God created the earth to tilt a certain way, to rotate a certain way. And because of those rotations, we have seasons. Now, in Honduras, where I lived, we had two seasons. We had the rainy season and the dry season. In the United States, there's 4 seasons, some places more than others, it seems like. But God created the seasons. And that would never have happened if God hadn't tilted the world a certain way. If God hadn't allowed the world to rotate around the earth or around the sun, God knew exactly what needed to be done. And just the list goes on and on when we talk about animals. Okay, when you talk about the weather, God knew that we needed rain. God knew that we needed some days that weren't rainy. God knew exactly what we needed, and God created weather. But when we talk about water, okay, if you look at the earth, there is water that covers a lot of the earth, but it doesn't cover everything. Why not? Because God created the land and the sea to be separate. Now, of course, with, the earth changes with volcanic eruptions and earthquakes and stuff. And there was a time with a flood, okay, there was water everywhere. But the Lord promised that in Genesis that would never happen again, which is every time we see a rainbow, that is that promise. That God would never flood the entire earth again. But yeah, it is our responsibility. God has made all of these things. God was so specific in his design because he knew what we needed. But God has now given us the responsibility to learn about these things. There are people who learn about volcanic eruptions, who learn about earthquakes. There's people who learn more about the sun, moon, and stars. There's people who try to predict the weather and learn more about seasons to tell other people about it. There are people who study the space, okay, to tell more people about it, who study the world, who studied animals. It is our job to try to understand. We might understand everything, but it's our job to take ownership of the world, take responsibility for that, to learn more about it, because God created it for us. And so our Bible verse this week is it sounded really country when I said that. Psalm 8:6. Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet. Okay, he's talking about humans here. Okay, God created the earth, but he gave Adam, and therefore us, dominion over the earth. And basically to take care of it. Not that we could do anything we wanted to, we could kill anything and just use the earth as we wanted to. No, to take care of it. Okay? But also to, so that's why we are to take care of animals so things don't go extinct. To take care of the earth by recycling, planting trees, okay, not being wasteful. That is our responsibility as good stewards of what God has given us, living on this earth. So that is your verse that you're going to have to say on Friday or this week. So we're going to be studying that. For your homework, you're going to be doing, or for today's work, you're going to be doing 1722.1. And again, most of the answers were in this presentation. So if you need to look back at it while you're doing it and do that again, but the bottom section isn't. You're going to have to read in the Bible for that. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you later. Bye.